Where's he on holiday at?
Right now I think he just got to Europe.
How's he flying around Europe during COVID?
Y'all must be getting flued out, whatever.
You got the right people.
Alright.
Isn't Europe like...
You got the right people.
Aren't we like blocked out of
You
Europe?
got the
For the first year of the
I was like, what?
You got the right people. Who's gonna play commercial?
Huh?
Who's gonna play commercial?
Fuck his dick.
Yes.
Lick his ball.
Yes. Yes.
Cause he got money.
Yes.
I mean, my beautiful friend, she fully moved to Scotland in the middle of COVID-19. When we were deep in the shutdown, the girl was like, "Do not look at us. No one's coming." She found her way over there somehow.
Exactly.
I don't like work, bitch.
Are we recording?
Hey. How y'all doing?
Okay, and we are back
These
with
messy openings.
another episode of Petty Pollers. That is PETTY POLLERS. You can follow us on Instagram. Also, our TikTok is PETTYPOLLER. No S. I am BJ.
I'm Keenan.
And I'm worn the fuck out.
Yes.
I'm done.
And this week's episode
Guess what's out.
is
Hump me. Fuck me. Daddy better make me show.
Petty Adaptations. We're talking book
Yay.
and movie. All right, yay! Oh, let me say that.
Yeah, I've been really excited for this category actually.
Yes,
Really?
he
Yes.
has. Like,
I have. Actually, I watched Gone Girl last night in preparation.
Oh,
Because it was right on Hulu. I said, you know what? Play.
Gone Girl, what's that about?
You know, I finished the book. It didn't work. You should read it. It's. I'm not trying to spoil anything. It's loosely about.
not loosely.
Oh, I gotta
How old is the movie?
The movie came out mid 2010s, I think.
Okay.
The author's my favorite author, Gillian Flynn. But she has 3 amazing books that are iconic to me. It's about a kidnapping / murder mystery, and that's the most I can say. It's about husband and wife. That's the most I can say without spoiling anything, because that book is messy.
Yay.
And when I said the movie's actually a pretty good adaptation of it, it's not bad, perfect. The book is wilder, but when I say I read that book, I was like, oh my god! Page after page after, bitch. When I said it's a messy story, you would actually live for it. It's on Hulu. So want to watch it.
Okay. I'm down.
It's a little long, but the whole thing's interesting.
Gotcha.
And Ben Affleck's not terrible in it, so it'll work.
Word.
Ben Affleck. That's the guy that was in Night at the Museum? No.
That's Ben Stiller, I think. Ben Affleck was a Batman. He was a Batman.
Yeah.
What else did he do? He did a lot. Doesn't come to mind, but he's done a lot actually.
I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
He was big in the 2000s, like big.
I mean, he's regular in Hollywood.
Yeah, I just can't remember any other movies he's done right now at all, but he has done a lot.
That's okay.
He looked like a Batman. So I'm not sure
I
which
don't be
one.
knowing white people.
Scream.
Ben Affleck. Affleck? Oh, shit.
Affleck. Oh, probably shouldn't have said that.
Let me Affleck. You can make one time work.
They did.
Yeah, I was looking at my shoulder, and I was like,
Oh.
workers' comp. And my dad really had me. He was like, oh, I have this. I said, oh. And he went $30. I was like, oh, work.
Okay.
Yeah, him. He's like, you would know his face when you see it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like, every time I see him, I always think he has, like, a lazy eye or something.
Oh my God, what is that?
Right?
What did he say?
Wait, where? I'm just gonna
Just
do
listen,
this.
just yeah.
Doesn't he seem like he has, like, a slight lazy eye?
Oh my God. What is that?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the most recent Batman.
Okay.
And like
Well,
the Justice
now Robert
League.
Pattinson's going to take that over somehow.
Okay.
Which actually is getting good screen test reviews, apparently.
Oh, really?
Weird.
Yeah, like when the photos came out, like, he looks, oh, okay, baby. Hold on, daddy.
Yeah.
So apparently he shook the world when the photos came out. So we'll see how the movie actually turns out. But, you know, the other day, I'm wearing up a Batman, so.
Technically, comic book to film, right?
Mhm.
Right. That's an adaptation.
That's been done way too many times. Please stop.
No,
Please
Marvel.
stop.
Marvel, keep going.
Give
please.
me at least 30 years gap to the next Batman movie.
Oh,
At least.
He's talking about DC, not Marvel.
Oh yeah, no,
Marvel,
no,
keep
no,
going.
Batman in particular.
Oh, very good.
I will, except on Superman, not really, but please don't. But Batman, let. Hang it up.
Can we talk about the adaptation of Batman versus Superman?
We can.
Okay.
We shouldn't, but we can.
I've never like read the comics, but like I just know the movie was trash.
It was just a bad movie.
DC has
And you know what?
2 good movies. Probably going to be 3. Sorry.
Female?
Huh?
All female?
Yes.
No, one, in my opinion, is Shazam. I think the DC movie is one of the better, it's actually one of the best DC movies. It's not a great movie, it's a very cute, okay movie, but for a DC movie, it knocked it out of the park.
Fully that.
Because the bar is so low for DC. But the one who actually stands alone as a great movie is Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And I know 1984 is about to kill me in December.
But so my like ranking of that would have been like Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman is
and
definitely above.
Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. I actually like that
It's
one.
good. I think Shazam's better in my opinion.
And then I would put Shazam.
That movie, A Birds of Prey is a little messy.
Honestly, just Wonder Woman.
He's a
No,
care for
I don't really care for her.
You said-
And Man of Steel, but that's only because I want Harry Cavill to destroy my
destroy
best
every part of your life.
Because when he, funny story about that. So I was watching that movie, and my whole family's like,
Oh my god, I love the story, yes!
my whole family's in the movie theater, and then we like show up to the theater, and then like my extended family just happened to be there too. We're like, hey auntie, hey cousins. The movie started, and he like lifts something shirtless. I was like, I have a full erection right now, and I am uncomfortable because my mom was like right here, and like my sister's right. It was a mess. I was like,
Keenan.
like mommy, like you okay? I'm okay. Woo! That movie, but only because I want him to do me.
Okay, well, let's talk about some of the notable series, the YA series that have been transformed.
I want to give a shout out because I think this one's going to be amazing. And I just read this book, One of Us is Lying. Yeah, the book I read going to Texas. I was like screaming about. Peacock picked it up for a pilot in August, so they'll probably be doing one next year. I mean, they already ordered a full season.
Okay.
So hopefully come next year. And that book was great, and it will be a wild story.
Alright.
So I think I'm gonna give a shout out. Y'all coming back in next year when it comes out, and let me know if I'm wrong or not. The book is great, so read the book. It's work. But another series I did not care for.
Series of books.
Series of books into series of books turned into a TV series.
Oh, I was thinking.
Oh, okay, I go back there. Sorry.
But we can go back to it. Like we'll start there first.
Wait, we go back to where?
We'll start where you are, and
Oh shit! Here we go again.
All right, perfect.
I'm a bad bitch. You can't kill me.
The first 13 reasons why. I like the book. The book is messy, but the TV series bores me.
oh wait, no. See, I like the book or whatever. We read it in 9th grade or whatever.
That's a wild book to read in school, actually.
So it was like creative writing class. So
Still
like,
wild.
we read
I mean,
it,
I get it.
but then watching the movie, like
TV show?
yeah.
Fuck y'all haters.
Sorry, like spoilers. Okay, this is riddled with spoilers. If you're watching, okay.
I guess you have to really get into it.
So when she like slits her wrist and they show that on film,
Ah, what the fuck?
that's like, ugh. And then they actually show like sort of kind of the rape, and then like
No,
suicide
sorry,
attempts, and then like active shooters, and I'm just like, that is so triggering. Yeah, no, not the first season, the second
Also,
season.
there's not active shooters. I
Yeah.
was like, I was like,
Not in the book.
It's been a minute since I read
Not
that book,
in the
but I was
book.
like, hold on, I thought I at least remember
in
what
the
happened in the
second
story.
season or whatever, and then like they continue on with the third season, and they like these kids are getting away with murder. They're framing people. I'm just like, this is
So they took a premise of the book and pieced it into another young adult TV show about
Yeah.
shit.
and
The
I
book
don't-
there's only one book. It ends.
Right.
Because Hannah died.
Yes.
There's no continuing the story. She is dead. And she was the main character of the book. So like,
and yet she was still riddled throughout the second season. I'm just like, she's dead.
She's been dead.
She died at the beginning of the book. At the beginning of the book, it was like,
Hey, it's Hannah. Hannah Baker.
and I'm just
and
like,
I'm gonna ruin your life with these days, so have fun crying. What's his name? Troy? Isn't Troy?
Clay.
Clay.
can we talk about how Clay did not deserve any of that trauma? That she
A
went
lot
through?
of, yeah.
Like, he didn't.
Have you read or seen this show? Okay,
Oh.
so the premise of this girl named Hannah Baker, she kills herself, but she records 13 tapes of the 13 reasons why she killed herself, and then sends the tapes to each person who's on the tape. So everyone has their own tape, and so like people are like reading like those all tapes like going crazy. So that's the whole premise. So they listen to her. She recorded these tapes before she killed herself. And they're like, oh my god, I'm getting this on the tape somewhere. So you go through all these tapes. Clay's like 8 or 9.
Yes.
He's like middle, like high middle.
He's like close. Well, doesn't he have 2?
You liar!
No.
He appears in a couple stories.
Right.
They work together and he's at that party. So basically, the stories are messy, but the book is interesting. But like, so basically, imagine somebody sending tapes like, I killed myself and this is why, and you're the reasons why. So keep listening, bitch.
And they
like,
send you
Jesus.
basically a Tory Lanez album or whatever, and like they're just like, okay, well, listen to these tracks and pass it on.
And I will say, there's some legitimate reasons, but a lot of them are petty. Not a lot of them. A quarter of them are kind of petty reasons.
Yeah.
Like Clay's because he didn't kiss her or didn't take her away from the ring. No, didn't kiss her at the movie theater, right?
Yes.
It's been a minute since I read the book.
Like, honestly, it's the pettiest. It's the
Like,
pettiest thing. He did not deserve a tape.
He didn't like make out with her or something when they had a moment, and it could have saved her from going down this deep dark path. So you got a tape, and I was like,
But at the end
also
of
plays
the,
like
at the end of this
shy and
tape,
awkward. So
also,
like,
at the end of this tape, also, she was just like, you really don't deserve a tape, but I'm putting you in here anyway. Thank you, Clay. Bye.
Oh.
I'm just like,
and I get why it's in there because they want somebody likable to narrate the story.
yeah.
And he's very likable because he didn't really do anything except for be an awkward teenage boy.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well,
yeah.
Okay, I'm worn out.
That
I'm worn out.
deep dive.
Now let's talk about something that we haven't finished personally, but little.
I haven't read the book yet, so I want to talk about the
The TV
3
show,
episodes
yeah.
we watched. So the
Have
book,
you-
I have
you
the
read
book
it?
actually. I haven't read it. since.
Little Fires Everywhere with Kerry Washington.
And
I was about to say Hilson.
and Reese with, come on, Carrie, it's it.
So-
Reese Witherspoon and Carrie Washington
Yes.
on Hulu. I mean, people are wet for the show, but right now it's boring for me.
It's not even that it's boring to me. It's just I'm gravely uncomfortable by any time Kerry Washington is interacting with
It's
anyone.
set in the 90s, late 80s or 90s.
90s.
I think it's 90s. And they're in some like small northeastern town, and like there's not a lot of black people apparently. So it's like Carrie Hill.
Carrie.
Carrie Washington, her daughter, and whenever Carrie Washington's like anybody who's like almost white, any adult who's white, it's like the most disdain, the most like, ask me how am I doing?
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. A direct attack. Sorry, the thing, it's
I don't know.
not even thank you, just a fine and let it go.
I don't think it's that harsh. Okay, wait.
It's harsh.
Hold on. Ask me if I'm staying for work today, okay? You're Reese Witherspoon. I'm Kerry Washington.
Hey, Kerry Washington, are you staying for work today?
Well, I have a real job, so no. I have to leave.
There's so much emotion in your voice.
You're right.
It's just like a dry response, and like Reese like actually trying, or Reese's character is trying, but Carrie's just like,
Mind you, Kerry Washington is working for Reese Witherspoon. Like,
only
or
that.
whatever. Like, to live in the place that they're living in, she's working for her or whatever, so like the rent is reduced. And she's just like, oh, could you like make this like meatloaf tonight? Like, this is Reese like begging her, could you make this meatloaf tonight? No. I'm going home.
Oh.
I'm an artist. I have other things to do. And like she just like she wears out every character. Like also her daughter is trying to like, you know, assimilate into like the white people or whatever, and she's just like, go give that back to that white boy.
People are moody. I'm gonna read the book. I'm gonna hold all my judgments till I read the book.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's gonna give me a lot more insight. I think this show's gonna probably make sense when we finish the whole thing. But I'm now worn out because I'm like, we're 4% and I have no idea what's actually on the show.
What's another series?
TV series. Oh, I
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. First of all, I read only one Game of Thrones books, and I went to read the rest of them. But like, that's when I retired. When I say Anthony, even the shows are detailed. The books, he will give you every name in this family legacy. And you're like, who the fuck are you talking about? Like pages going back 50 pages. Like, oh, okay. God. When I say, I mean, he is detailed orient. There's no holes. There's no like. That person was thought out thoroughly. You need the whole backstory of all these families. You're like, I am worn out.
My sister, she's an avid reader, and she's that person that reads like 2 or 3 books at a time, but that's just like her passing time.
Your sister Taisha?
Yes.
Love you, Taisha.
Yeah, hey, Diva. But then but even for her, she was like, I tried to read Game of Thrones, and she was like, no.
It took me a minute, and it's
She's
just
like, no.
it's just like an abundance of information.
She was like, I can't read pages about
Names! It's like a list of names! You're like, oh my god.
I was like, just the blades of grass blowing in the wind.
He is descriptive.
Yeah. She's like, okay.
And that was like one of the first like major scenes, is like 3 lineage of families coming together. The Starks, the Starks.
The Targaryen.
No, it's Stark, Lannisters, and what's Robert's?
Baratheons.
So like, there's in the first like big part of the book, you have all these names, and you're like, oh my god. There's a deep feeling legacy. You're like, I'm worn out. And like, most things are not. They're important, but not like that important.
Mm-hmm.
And then it works because they'll pass and you mention a name deep into the book. You're like, of what house? Who are you? Who's your daddy?
Okay.
Like going all that. Who is your daddy? Hold on.
I mean, that's how Game of Thrones was. The show was for me
It's
anyway.
worse.
We got 2 and 1. I think it was one of those seasons came out. I'm not sure it was the last one or the one before last. And the first episode, I was like, I already don't know who these people are, how we got here.
The first season follows the book, so the ones that like follow the book directly are like that.
Mm-hmm.
When the book
But season 1
stopped,
was everything.
when the books stop and they took their own path, it gets like a little more like basic.
Mm-hmm.
Which at that point we got used to, so we're like, now it's trash. We get used to figuring out shit later.
Yeah.
We watch episodes 2 or 3 times and figure it out later, bitch. We'll learn.
Okay, so let's talk
about sex, baby.
movies.
You.
I think.
I mean, we're already talking.
I think the movie that started it all really was Harry Potter. You know,
For
like
what?
the Harry Potter series, like for YA novels being turned into movies.
No, novels been being turned into movies for decades.
YA novels?
Huh?
Where?
Every the Outsiders,
1984,
10 Little Indians,
there's a legacy of books.
Gone with the Wind, just decades of them constantly turning movies into books.
Is Gone with the Wind a YA novel? Really?
I think so.
I don't know. I just know it's a circ.
It's a classic literature book.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a YA. When I think of YA, I typically think of like more modern, like
What's YA?
young adult.
The Outsiders is definitely a YA book, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been a movie before Harry Potter even.
I feel you.
Spitting distance.
Well, I feel like
Flash
what got it
Gordon.
like super kicking anyway, like to where like they started like literally coming out like year after year.
Actually, I disagree.
What
I
do you
think
think?
Twilight was the catalyst.
What?
Twilight. I think Harry Potter.
Harry Potter came out.
Yes, I
first.
think Harry Potter was as a fluke. The story was so good, but after Twilight, those bitches came out rapidly after Twilight.
See, I feel like it was Harry Potter, and then it was just like Twilight, Divergent.
Ooh, I'm
Hunger
gonna have to
Games.
agree with him.
Yeah.
Because how Harry Potter, a lot of the Twilight and I think Divergent followed Harry Potter's format. Especially,
format?
well, mostly like doing like the last book in 2 sections. Because Twilight did that as well.
Well, Twilight the book is actually bit into 2 sections. It's like part 1 and part 2.
The
It's
last
always
one?
it's written like that.
Okay. I don't know.
That's my one because I'm avid Twilight stan.
I would.
So
You're an avid Twilight fan?
back in the day, honey.
I still would put
You
it
just
on
think
Harry
that, you just like
Potter.
that writing, don't you?
Stephanie and what's her name? Myers. Me wet over Jasper and what was Rosa Lee, what her name, husband? The thick one, the muscular one. Someone to eat. He could have got all his pussy for years. I would have been enforced. Ow! Fuck you, Rosa. Get out my face. And I still. He was, you know the thick one I'm talking about?
Yes.
It was the oldest girl, the bitchy one.
And she had like real
Blonde hair.
Like, oh yeah.
Her man, honey. Woman on that grand piano.
Okay, wait.
Carl could have got it too,
So
actually.
can we let's do this. Harry Potter, Little Kim.
Little
Twilight.
Kim.
Okay, Harry Potter, Little Kim, Twilight, Nicki Minaj.
I mean,
Actually,
I feel
I
like
would
that
say
Harry
that.
Potter
Right?
definitely like
Because
is a precedent in the industry
Yeah,
for a reason.
because,
So I'm
like-
not discrediting that.
How many movies came out before Twilight was like even there? Like wasn't it like at least 3 movies that come out before Twilight?
Way more than that. Twilight comes 2009, I think.
Oh shit.
8 or
Yeah.
9. No, it had to come out in like 9 or 10. Because I read it in 9, and I think I read it right before it came out.
So I'd give Harry Potter fully Little Kim, and then Twilight, Nicki Minaj.
Also because Harry
And
Potter
then
is
Hunger
good.
Games, Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh yeah,
No.
Hunger Games.
Megan Thee Stallion is better.
I hope you continue to go into the world and show them that you will never stop being dumb, unattractive, overweight, unworthy, untalented.
Well, I gotta
go.
Actually, but see, the thing is, like, I think that works because Harry Potter is better than Twilight. I don't know where Megan Thee Stallion falls into this analogy.
I mean,
but
I love Megan Thee
she's
Stallion, but The Hunger Games is not the series.
Yeah.
I thought people loved for the Hunger Games.
They did.
I mean, let me ask the audience.
Ew.
They lived for the Hunger Games, and they did not read the book.
They
They saw the movies, and they were like...
Also,
"Ah."
my favorite is the second book, hands down. The second
Yes.
book wore it out. When I say I read that book, like,
Mockingjay.
it's a night and I had
That's Mockingjay, right?
wait, no, that's the
wait.
one. The second one is,
James... Catching Fire.
Yes. So I read that book, like I said, I gotta finish it, so I'm wondering through it. But like 2 o'clock, like 2, 3 a.m. o'clock in the morning, I had like a 2-hour
Oh, yeah,
nap
because that's when she
before going
goes
to-
back into the games.
Yeah, it's the quarter cloud.
Honestly,
The quarter cloud.
fully.
Yes. And I was like, oh my god, I was sweat by that second book. It was the best of the series.
I would have been
The
so
third,
pissed
I was
off.
pissed off. The third, I was like, I get it, but like, I'm over it.
And the second one, I would have been pissed off. I would have been like,
I gotta go
fought.
back.
We just fought. We won. We are living in our mansion, and you're telling me we
President
have to go
Snow.
back. He said, no.
It's
he
a
said.
quarter fucking cloud, bitch.
They're like, this is our first one. You too, come on. And I'm just like, what?
Wait, who's first one?
I only saw the first.
It
one,
was
so.
it was their first quarter
And
call.
it wasn't for me.
Like it was their first ever thing. Because they were like, we gotta shake things up or whatever because they're getting too comfortable or
No,
whatever.
wasn't it the 75th quarter cloud?
No. It was the first one. It was the first one because the thing is like
I don't
they're-
think so. I think there's wild things that happened in a quarter quells in the past. Look it up. I distinctly remember I might be wrong, but I remember Hamish talking about past quarter quells. I think it was the 75th quarter quell.
I don't think that would make much sense.
Why?
Because like with like
No. Katniss is too young for the 25th. Her father, that doesn't make sense. It's been a thing for a while.
Okay, every 25 years there's a quarter quell edition of the Hunger
Actually,
Games.
it was a quarter quell on the Catch a Fire.
Hold on, that's what I'm looking at.
Lord of the Flies is also a movie.
Yeah, YA turned to movie well before.
The
I like that book.
Hunger Games, the citizens of the district have to vote on who would compete in the Hunger Games.
Thank you.
Reminding rebels.
Yeah, it was 75th.
Also gave the Victor Unknown and the 50th Hunger Games 4 tributes. Okay.
Yeah, get into it.
Hunger Games knowledge, honey baby girl.
You're right. But my thing is like it's sucky for District 12, like who don't typically have like winners or whatever because
We
like
had 3 winners.
they were just like
Well, at least 3 a lot winners.
they said okay.
Was Hamish the first winner? I don't remember. I don't think so. I mean, he's the one that was alive.
I'm not sure. I think he's the only one that's alive. But they were just like okay, 1 female and 1 male, Ivy in the female bowl.
Katniss Everdeen. The bowl's just empty now. Empty.
Hey, Mitch.
And then Peter. I thought that should be. Oh, messy.
I'd
Messy.
have been like, no, bitch. How did you feel about what we just know? Hunger Games wasn't the books. Like, the books were way better, honestly. But how did you feel about the adaptation of Harry Potter into the movies?
It's done, for my opinion, I think it's done fairly well.
I think there are a couple things that they miss.
But I think there's some storylines that are obviously left out, but then they wouldn't add into the movie.
Yeah.
It's the actual flavor and color in the background, which helps understand different characters. But I think it didn't detract. But I think even though fuck her to fucking burning pose.
Don't.
No, I don't care. I say what I said. Fuck her.
I was just gonna say don't say her name.
I'll say what I said.
Fuck her name. Fuck her. She doesn't deserve.
Her being woven deep to that storytelling of the brand movies helped make that happen.
Yeah.
But also fuck Kim Byrne, but
Okay.
still she made the movie what it was.
How did you feel? Like, what did you like more? The movie or?
Oh, the book was just much better for me personally. It was a much better experience, especially for like some of those middle movies. But I mean, I guess I agree with what Don said, like, because at the end of the day, what was in the movies is like was enough to push the story forward.
You didn't miss it. per se.
There's things I didn't miss.
I
But
mean,
I definitely can see that if it was added in, it would not add much, then we would add time.
That I'm not going to be editing my videos anymore.
We don't have to talk about Divergent.
What a bad bitch book, though. Seriously.
Great book. We don't have to talk about it though. The adaptation, I don't think that happened. Yeah.
Something I wish it was done better. Percy Jackson and Lightning Thief. I wish that was explored on much better.
Did they have more than one movie?
They're supposed to.
They just had one.
That's it.
Oh.
Yeah, that one. I didn't actually read the book, but I feel like Disney could have did a lot more with that. I'm actually surprised Disney didn't really do it justice.
I think the first movie.
I think the first one was
like
okay.
It wrapped up so quickly.
But also could say the same thing for Aragon, because I really thought that Aragon was gonna be like that.
I
like
Harry Potter. Everyone thought Aragon was that bitch, and they're like, oh.
So
and the movie was so bad.
Okay.
Damn. Oh, I forgot about Animorphs. The
I love
the TV
Animorphs.
show. Yeah.
Wait, it was a TV show?
It was a TV show.
I love the books though.
Yeah, no, a friend of mine does a breakdown of every book and TV show, and it's a podcast. He brings out every book, and then he reads the TV show to film. Like, he compares episodes and reads. I'm like, this is everything, Josh. I live.
Yeah, the TV show.
I stand for this podcast every Friday.
I do like what they do with the Goosebumps show or whatever.
Whatever the books, I can't comment.
Well, I didn't read all of the books or whatever, but the books that I remember, the puppet book or whatever, comparative to the television show, I was just like, oh, okay, I'm genuinely scared.
I mean, Nickelodeon was that bad bitch back in that time.
Who?
Nickelodeon.
Oh yes, yes, right.
And I would say at that point, Disney and Nickelodeon, they were head to head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Cartoon Network carved their own market, but Nickelodeon and Disney, they could either one any day of the week could took my attention.
And Cartoon Network came up and they're like,
well,
stop.
I think Cartoon Network more carved their own pathway. They were like, y'all have with that. We're gonna do our own thing and stay in our lane. We get our own viewers. We're go with that.
And then Cartoon Network was always creepy kids to me.
It was creepy. It was a little more. Almost everything on Cartoon was a little more adult humor without with a veil lightly lifted. There was definitely humor in Disney Channel Nickelodeon that was adult, but Cartoon Network, the veil was lifted and it had a little more thing to let slide. Definitely.
Like with Cow and Chicken.
Cow and Chicken, Courage Kelly Dog.
Invader Zim. Wait.
Oh my god, I think the tag. I think
Invader Zim was Nickelodeon.
It was. It was a mix of the Powerpuff Girls into Hook Up with Megan Stallion. It's like sugar, spice, and everything nice. And that mix was like,
period.
I'm gonna show you after this video. I'm like, yeah, you better get it. Yes, blossom.
Is there any notable book that you're hoping is adapted into some type of
any Elin Harris book with a gay messy ass? I feel like we'd probably be probably outside of the window where that would be acceptable because Elin Harris books are a little problematic now.
Yikes.
But however.
My favorite movie. Sorry, I didn't cut you off. You finishing?
I'm done.
Don't orgasm me. Anyway, my favorite movie of all time is based on a book. It's not my favorite book, but it's still based on a book. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, which is everything. Nobody ever in this movie. It's my favorite.
I've heard of the movie.
It's just
it has Seth Rogen.
Nope, Michael Cera.
Yeah, same thing.
And then girl who always confused with Elliot Page.
Zoe Deschanel?
No, obviously not her. She's on Two Broke Girls. Big titties, black hair.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I remember her name. I'm so sorry, Diva. I never her name, but
Did you say you confuse her with Elliot Page?
Yeah.
How?
I don't. But it's I know they're not the same person. But
okay.
I can't remember her name. But that's the closest person that kind of looks similar to her. So in very generic ways.
See, I think white people look
by the black hair being white. That's so generic.
I was like,
that's the generic.
I think a lot of white people look alike, but
they both have black hair and they're both white. So and they both were big in movies at the same time.
That's like me with Gwyneth Paltrow and
the girl from Mother Egg. Yeah, I don't remember her name.
Yeah. They're the same people.
Well, yeah, no, that's one of my favorite movies. It actually is my favorite movie of all time. Clue second. So the book is okay, but the movie's everything.
I would like to see. There was this book that I was obsessed with as a kid. It's called Bud Not Buddy, and it's just kind of follows this sort of orphaned black child, and he's just trying to find like his father and everything like that. I think he's like in the foster care system, and like he like goes and like he learns about this history of blues, and he thinks his father is like a big blues person or whatever. But like the adventure that he goes on or whatever, he basically is like a child vagabond or whatever.
It's fourth grade.
Like it was like a really young thing, but I was in love with this book until like 7th grade or whatever. I used to like read it all the time, but like it's a really great book.
Definitely that book, yeah.
And I would love to see that like on film, because it's not just like there's racism sprinkled in and like segregation, of course, because like of the time he grows up in, but that's not his story per se. Like it's focusing on like this like the musical aspect of like Black history and everything like that, and it's so cool. I really enjoy it.
The book I wish would turn into a movie, which is never going to, but it's called Wide Awake by David Levithan. Also wrote
I'm Wide Awake.
Nick and North's been in playlist. It's about this young gay couple going to watch their inauguration. It's really nice. I think released from a political kick, actually. It's a great book.
Okay.
It's a very young adult book, a young gay adult book. If you're young and gay, I recommend you read it. It doesn't have much substance, but it got me my full life. It's actually my first ever like book featuring a gay teen or gay people, and I was like, I am obsessed. And you come to the library, freaking rinsing out every single book that had a gay character in it.
Did y'all read those books in high school with, it was like central around like a Black high school or whatever. I forget what it's called, but I remember one of the books was about this boy named Tyrone, and it's like, I think he like maybe gets shot and killed, but like,
I definitely didn't.
At my high school, middle school, like these books were like super popular, and people would like just be waiting for the next one to come out, and I'm like, wow, I'm so glad that y'all are just like actively like waiting on books and everything. This is great. Snaps.
No, I used to like wore out my library 20 books maximum. You're like, I'm turning 3, here's the next 3 I can read now. It's like reading through the books, on the bus, finishing books. Like,
there is another series that I would want to see like turned into like some movies. It's it's about this girl, and like she has this friend, and the friend commits suicide, and like she goes to hell, and like she's like looking to like save her friends, like she's trying to save her friend's like soul or whatever, because she's just like she doesn't belong here or whatever, and like she basically commits suicide to go like save her friend, and like she joins this like demon fighting force or whatever. I do not know. I'm gonna find what it's called.
Why are you finding? Let me read somebody to fill. John Green. Love your work, but your movies fucking suck. They're just bad. They're just bad. And your work's problematic, but I let that go. But like, I just watched Paper Towns, and I was mad.
Paper Towns?
Looking for Alaska, The Fault in Our Stars, the list keeps going. Very decent, good books, but like the movies just fall flat. So honey, get on that, please. I gotta do switching books.
It's called Sanctum or whatever. And like the book series is like Guards of the Shadowlands or whatever. But like really good book or whatever. I would completely recommend it.
There was a book I used to read, a book series. And by excuse me, because like when I was reading it still was like book 10, 12, 11. So like it was deep in the books by that point. And it was supposed to become a movie, and I actually hated this book series about big 6 or 7. But if it's want to come like a TV series or a movie, I was like, and then now I want to be that bitch who knows everything about the story. Because I cared about certain characters, but the story was just like, such bad writing. And I was like, worn out. And it never became a movie, and I'm mad I wasted years of my life reading the book. Because like, I used to be like, I cannot finish this book. It is so fucking dumb. Nudies in the movie, me. Okay, let me just be ahead so I know what's going to happen in the movie so I can read the film. Movie never came, and I'm so mad. I don't remember what it's called anymore. I'm just so pissed. I spent so many of my years reading that damn book.
Yikes.
So much of my time.
Did you have anything to add? What were you searching?
I was just searching one of the books that I would like to see turn into a movie. There's a list, but this is the one I would think about. It's called Playing with Fire. It's a series. You'll like it.
It's these men with shirts off.
It's like, I'm not gonna lie, it is a little trashy gay literature, but it's not
good.
But it's not but it's not like smut, but the story is so messy. I would just like to see that on screen.
So it's like Real Housewives, but like gay and turned into a book. Like with
I don't really watch Real Housewives. I don't really.
I haven't read the book and I feel it's wrong.
What are you saying?
I haven't read the book. That's a wrong assumption.
I was just thinking, like...
Does the mess have substance?
Yeah, well...
And then it's not really.
Again, it kind of
has...
No, I said what I said.
Because kind of period piece, because like this guy, he's black, but the guy's Latino, but Latino's like a thug and like the type of guy that like everybody wants. He's in he's in beautiful shape. He's actually on the cover. Then you have this black guy who I guess is just an average guy, and they kind of fall for each other. But he's on a deal, and he's like open, and they're having amazing sex, and then he cheats on him. It's a mess, but it's a fun adventure. So I would like to see that on screen.
Okay, come through.
Even if it's like on a budget film, budget Hulu, you know.
That's my problematic days.
Right. There's also another messy one. So I went through like a messy gay literature kick called Teacher's Pet.
Well, let me see the cover. I think I read that.
I'm about to reread some of these.
I think I had read that actually. I read that one actually. That sounds so familiar.
No. What happens is basically we have this gay teacher and he had like this basketball student. He's like a senior or something. Yeah. Yes, and then the basketball student played the teacher because he wanted to get an A. So fully like seduced them and slept with them. It was a hot mess. Yeah. It was rough. I enjoyed it. So I want to see it on screen too.
I didn't read it. I didn't read a lot of like gay literature.
If it said gay young adult, honey, check it out.
I did it.
And me, because like, when we started to request books, like, to request all the books. Get these books now. I got like half of them. I was like, yes! Check out.
I didn't do it just
Return
because
Today.
like where I like grew up or whatever. Like I was out essentially, but like it's a difference between like being out and like being actively out.
Well, I think like I wasn't really into reading like that until I started reading like young gay adult, where I actually went to people, and then like I picked up Twilight shortly after that. But I started in 8th grade. I read Twilight in 9th grade, so like that picked into reading. So without that catalyst, I've never been a big reader like I am now today. Because I was like, this is everything. I'm wet, literally, figuratively, and literally wet. Like literally both, and yes, figuratively wet. On all fronts, I am wet.
I'm dripping.
Fully on all fronts, I am so about this.
I'm don't you. Okay, well, I think that was enough talking on the subject or whatever, and we can get to the questions. But first, let's hear from our sponsors.
Well, we're lovely burning a candle from Rusty Nail Candle Company.
Ew.
I should just turn out the
Actually, the scent we're burning today is Home for Christmas. It's like my favorite scent that I bought. It was the only scent I bought. It was when it was spoke to me, and I'm a poor man, so not
I was about
working.
to say your favorite scent, your only scent.
I called it out. I'm poor, so I can afford a candle. And when my money's enough to I'm buying a candle for Jasmine and Passion.
Oh.
And then probably from that, this is
What's
Jasmine. I don't know yet. I think Jack Frost and...
You said for Passion. I'll chip in.
I can just buy her own candle.
I could. I will. I'll buy Jasmine something that says Forcing.
There's no Forcing candles.
Jam.
And then my sister one. But yeah, Rusty Nail Candle Company on Etsy. Like I said in the past, he's a Broadway costumer who's currently out of work because Broadway is closed down.
Shut down.
4 months.
And not looking like it's going to be open.
So he works on several shows on Broadway, but they're all closed down. So support a local artist. He makes all this stuff in his apartment. He's a great person. Love him to death. What do you mean?
Period. Next we have good old Sarah and Jordan. It's getting a little chilly and you may still want to play golf or whatever, but you want to know something that you can do? You can go indoors and like have your golf experience inside. You can learn hands-on. No, not like that.
Ew.
Definitely not like that. I may have to just. I'm so sorry. You can learn hands-on.
You said a joke about yourself, so that's
how to do the golf and
the golf.
Yes, the golf. And Jordan or associates will teach you all that you need to know. And his lovely wife Sarah will probably also like be there, and like Sarah's just great in general. But yeah, Pure Golf is simple. PureGolfIsSimple
He
on
really into
Instagram.
celebrities, and then we follow. It's us and them.
Oh right.
It's the only we follow. We follow Louie, us three, Taisha, Pure Simple, Wrestling Organic Company, and I Run Exit Design.
And Amber.
And Amber. That's the only people we follow, so they're all right there.
You can look in the people that we follow because we try to keep it clear and everything. So go ahead, check that out, and get to golfing. And we have one more sponsor.
So, if you like adult coloring books, we have something special for you. So Taisha Bradley, she is an artist and she creates these black coloring books featuring black people but mostly black women. So there they go right there. And there are also themes. So this one's Black Magic, featuring like, you know, witchcraft, hoodoo and voodoo and all the things like that. And then this one is the Black History one, coloring book. And then each of these, there's a little, it's not, so it's just more than just coloring. There's like the Black History one, you can do like a little history lesson. She tells you exactly what the inspiration is. So, I didn't even know that, which is awkward. Anyway.
You dog your sister.
Right.
Like your sister. You should know, damn. I don't want to
because I don't be coloring like that. But
Me
I did.
either, I read the book when I got it.
I did buy this one, so I was like, word.
I fully read the whole like front page and back page.
Yes.
Black Magic?
Huh?
Black Magic.
Yeah, he bought the
I bought the Black Magic one.
Yeah.
So if you like to find her and support her, there's actually a reasonable price too. You can go to Amazon.
$9.99.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, so
they're both $9.99.
Yes, they are. Right on. So if you want to buy them, you can go right on Amazon. You find it under Taisha Bradley, TYEESHABRADLEY. So make sure you go to Amazon.com, type in Taisha Bradley. These two and some other things that she created will pop up. So get your life by coloring beautiful black people.
And you know what? It's been a great year. You got some people supporting black-owned business.
Yes, honey.
Great Christmas gifts.
Fun, just honestly, info IDs, a great stocking stuffer.
And it's been like,
actually
a great stocking stuffer.
It's been hella stressful this year, and like adult coloring, you know, came back in or whatever. So I go ahead.
It really is.
Get you one of these Taisha coloring books and go to work.
And
also, she like features the art on her face on her Instagram.
Yes, she does. Go on her Instagram page. I think it is just Taisha Bradley, and she participates in like Mermaid, which is like apparently in the month of May they like do mermaids, and so she does like all black mermaids. And then there's like Inktober where she draws like.
Was that the game?
I think so.
That was Chris.
Yeah, that's what the
Yeah, and then she also does Inktober is like when she does like monsters, like black themed. So support her, she's excellent.
Why don't you follow Joseph Hudson on Instagram?
Follow who?
Joseph Hudson.
Because he was on our like podcast.
I guess it was.
Yeah.
I like
Is he chopped?
No, he's not chopped, but I was like, he has business.
He was like here once.
He was here once. But he didn't give us information out. He didn't give us Instagram, actually.
Yeah, I just went
He
ahead and
declined
followed
that
him.
too.
Yeah,
He didn't follow him, he declined.
because he's racist. Oh wait, okay, so that was our sponsor. Love you, Taisha.